This is Harlem to Kilimanjaro.
Have you ever been to Harlem?
With funding from Columbia University through a community benefits agreement, I started the nonprofit Digital Media Training Program in 2013. The program taught photography, journalism, and filmmaking to residents of the Harlem community in New York City.
Let's give it up to our outstanding young filmmakers.
We won the White House Student Film Festival in 2015 and 2016 and were invited to the White House ceremonies. One of my early students was Kadeen Diop. He became a budding filmmaker and actor. He starred in the independent feature Chapter and Verse.
I got you.
You live and you learn, a whole chapter and verse.
On our latest project, we took Diop and a group of Harlem-based filmmakers on a trip to Arusha, Tanzania.
I'm a student here at City College of New York, and this semester I'll be graduating with a degree in film production. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to this trip and hope to learn a lot.
Tanzania, East Africa is 7,444 miles southeast of New York. It is an extraordinarily beautiful country, teeming with wildlife, and the fourth largest mountain in the world, the 19,000-foot Mount Kilimanjaro. But Tanzania's most defining characteristic may be the diversity of its people, comprising over 120 tribes. The country has been free of intertribal conflict due to the unifying force of the official language, Swahili, and the visionary leadership of its founding president, Julius Nyerere.
And I don't see why in Tanganyika we cannot base our rights of citizenship, our duties of citizenship on loyalty to the country instead of the color of a person's skin or the texture of a person's hair. We see
The Maasai people are one of the most distinctive of the East African tribes. Their traditional music is sung by a lead singer and accompanied by a chorus.
The polyrhythms that the women sang when we first got there were polyrhythms I was not familiar with, so it took me a second to get my bearings on it, more than a second. There's one lead melody where she is greeting us and telling us the story about how grateful they are to God, and et cetera, and that rhythm is floating free of the underlying pulse, but it's still tied to it. It's like singing the blues, where you're ahead of the beat, you're behind the beat, depending on what you're doing, you're slurring a note. Their rhythm is, in a typical African fashion, it's malleable, it's in and out of the main pulse.
Bill Tolles gives a ceremonial donation of cornmeal and sugar to the tribe. We're then greeted by Saya, a tribal elder and board member of the Ngorongoro Tourism Group, and Nyama, a member of the Women's Committee. As we introduce ourselves, I explained that in 1986, my family and I traveled here to meet with Julius Nyerere, the founder and first president of Tanzania. And we met with Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. And I have a photo. I passed around the photograph for all to see. But in case they didn't recognize me, I quickly explained. I had a lot more hair back then. I went on to tell the Maasai that my meeting with Nyerere was because of my wife's godmother, Maida Springer Kemp. She was best friends with my wife's mother, Dolly Lothar Robinson. They were both formidable forces in the labor movement in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Robinson with the Amalgamated Clothing Workers of America, and Kemp with the International Ladies Garment Workers Union. Kemp rose through the ranks and became an international representative for the American Federation of Labor and traveled the world, becoming one of the most influential yet unsung labor leaders of her time. During the late 1950s, when Tanganyika was still a British protectorate, Kemp helped Nyerere successfully petition the United Nations for independence. It was granted in 1961. I studied African leaders while writing about the Organization of African Unity for my undergraduate thesis at Princeton University. I admired Nyerere for his intelligence, integrity, and his support of liberation struggles in Southern Africa. But I was riding on Maida Springer Kemp's coattails when my family and I traveled to Tanzania to meet Julius Nyerere face to face. President Nyerere, many African Americans see Africa as the motherland. However, some African Americans are really disconnected from Africa and believe all the negative stereotypes. What would you say to them?
Well, I don't know what I can say to Afro-Americans. It's one of those arrogances of history where Afro-Americans at one time, here were these people whose ancestors were taken from Africa by force. I mean, we must admit this, taken by force to the Western world. And the attempt was made at one time to make Afro-Americans to be ashamed of Africa. And in the meantime, of course, this Africa was devastated by the white man during slavery. And then the white man wanted to end slavery, and they came to end slavery, to save us and end slavery by colonizing the continent. So that was the continent which the black American was told to be ashamed of. Well, that's history. That's history. Today it's the other way around, I think. Today Africans are being warned to watch out. Black Americans might want to come to Africa and dominate it. This is, again, one of those nonsensical things. It is natural for blacks to think of Africa. It's the home of their ancestors. And really, I hope they'll maintain that, maintain it, not be ashamed of Africa. We can develop Africa, and you can help.
Julius Nyerere died in 1999 at the age of 77.
And I'm giving thanks for those very beautiful story we heard about Nyerere, because Nyerere is our father and our founding father of the nation.
We learned a lot from our visit to the village of Osenye and shared a bit of our knowledge with the Maasai. The women are famous for their beautiful handmade beaded jewelry, and our group was treated to a marketplace where we purchased some of their one-of-a-kind creations. We visited their homes, constructed by the Maasai women. We milked the village goats and were treated to a traditional goat sacrifice. We also spent time walking through the countryside, talking to an elder named Peter about the changes in the Maasai lifestyle over the years.
The big cats, I'm talking about cheetahs, leopard, lions, they're not coming to this area because of population of people. They don't feel comfortable to be close to people, because most of the time they end up attacking animals, and Maasai attack them back because they protect the animals.
At night, we experienced the traditional Maasai dance of the young men and women of the village.
I love watching people dance. I love dancing. It just feels so good to get out of your head and in your body, and then watching people's body tell stories. I got the opportunity to jump in. I just jumped in feet first. Definitely hypnotic. It definitely puts you like in this kind of like trance kind of feeling, but it felt and resonated so good. That register, that part of my body that was buzzing while I was making those sounds, it just felt like soothing.
The Maasai are cattle herders, and their traditional nomadic pastoral lifestyle has become more challenging due to population growth and climate change. In order to survive, many Maasai have moved into urban areas and adopted modern customs.
Music that we create from our own flavor, the traditional, the indigenous kind of rhythms.
GP Obikoto is a Maasai musician, entrepreneur, poet, and founder of Mist Africa, a foundation that uses the power of the arts and music, especially hip-hop, to empower young people in their communities. GP's musical partner is James Jeremiah Mushi, also known as Wise Man. He is a Maasai tribesman from the nearby city of Moshi. While GP has adopted modern customs, he also recognizes the importance of Maasai traditions and clings to them, even while operating in a contemporary urban setting. He maintains a family farm and participates in traditional Maasai observances.
Music is taking all our feelings to Jah Most High.
GP also focuses his attention on environmental issues, and his Mist Africa Foundation sponsors urban cleanups and health clinics to promote good hygiene and disease prevention. But most people know GP as a musician and owner of the Kaizari Club and Cultural Center.
And our vision is to change Kaizari Club into a creative hub or a creative art center.
It's a venue he inherited from his father, Julius Vayani Kivuyu Obikoto.
My father, he really wanted us to really go to school and nothing else. Just go to school, finish your studies, be a doctor or engineer, and that's all. He had this old Afro music and from Congo, Zaire. That was the best music they always listened. So he always he could tell me, "What are you doing? Is that music?" Because he could see me rapping something. What? I just see you like just doing some kind of shouting. Is that really music? And I'm like, yeah, this is really nice music. You just can't understand it because you really have to listen and really get to know it.
Open your eyes and just listen your mind. It's better to know, it's better to know.
Kumbe shima imekwisha vunjika kwenye roho ya Mtanganyika, maadili kutoweka kwenye matendo Mtanzania jamii.
It's better to know, it's better to know, it's better to know, it's better to know. Where we born, my friend. It's better to know, it's better to know.
Two of our Harlem filmmakers, Phil Tolles and Kadeem Diop, are also musicians. They were invited into the studio of the United African Alliance Community Center to record a song with GP Obikoto and his musical partner, Wise Man. The song is called Maisha Africa, Living in a Paradise.
Yes, we live like a paradise, the Maisha Africa. Mama live like a paradise, the Maisha Africa. Fresh, fresh, yeah. Napata no Maisha Africa. Fresh, fresh, foods. Napata no maisha ya Afrika. Mama living like a paradise. No maisha ya Afrika. Yes, we living like a paradise. No maisha ya Afrika. Fresh, fresh, yeah. Napata no maisha ya Afrika. Fresh, fresh foods. Napata no maisha ya Afrika.
Thank you, I'm so grateful, feeling like dreams came true for this moment. Can't repay you, so for that I praise you. Please, you raised me on my feet, provided all my needs. And with your energy, I'ma just roll up sleeves, work the field, sow the seeds. First we learn, then we teach, spreading power, love and peace. I'm a revolutionary, word to Mama C and Papa Pete.
Africa in our heads is a place that, you know, people are afraid of, people don't know much about, but I wanted to say something about it that could inspire somebody to want to go there, to want to feel like they need to go there to gain some type of awareness about themselves. Being on like African soil, it made me feel like closer to God for some reason.
Walitoka viboko vyao, eti ukweli ulikuja na meli na bendera kwetu town. Tulichoka viboko vyao, eti ukweli ulikuja na meli na bendera kwetu town. Tulijua kusoma miaka milioni 6 iliyopita, my friend, mbona wapata homa? Kwa mchunguzi kalipita. Tulijua kusoma miaka milioni 6 iliyopita, my friend, mbona wapata homa? Kwa mchunguzi kalipita.